Welcome to sunny Miami. Well, it doesn't look quite as sunny right now. We got Rush Champion Series coming your way tonight. My name's Chris Murphy here with DRSN. Happy to be here with you tonight. Our first event here with the Rush Champion Series. I'm so happy to be on board. We've got, it looks like about 32 to 33 drivers strong here tonight. We're just getting qualifying underway. And then we are going to get on to 134 laps of action. Stages at 27 and 60, and we'll go the last 74 laps stage free. So looks to be no fuel mileage issues through the first two stages, but we will definitely see it at the end. Miami's a track you can see a lot of green flag racing. If we take a look right now at Jackie Brandon on the racetrack in the 65. So we are here for the penultimate race of the season at Miami. We're going to finish it up next week at Richmond. So we'll come back next Tuesday night at Richmond Raceway for 220 laps of action next week. But first, we got to get this 134 laps here at Miami complete. Let's take a look here. We got qualifying underway right now. Right now at the top of the charts is Eric Anderson with a 3.34.37. Right there behind him, Nathan Dufton and Gary Bowman. Brad Holmes, Amanda Sherman up there in the top 5 with a good lap. Chris Rose is going to make his way up into second. So about 3 minutes left to go in qualifying. Drivers do get 2 laps out on the racetrack. For what qualifies underway, we'll take a look at our point standings. We are here in the playoffs, top 10 right now, but we are going to whittle it down to the top 6, and your top 10 right now is Cody Gibson, Dustin Pink tied for the points lead. Dustin has won the last 2 races. He picked up the win last week at Pocono, won the week before at Martinsville. Frank DiMaggio up there in third. Matthew Semple, Rick Thompson, Greg Mitchell. That is currently your top 6. Greg has the tiebreaker over Andrew Caldwell, so the top 6 will go on to the final event. Gary Bowman, Mike Steverson, Tom Richter. That is your top 10 coming in tonight. And then outside looking in is Brad Holmes, Jared Anderson, Carter Lawson, Eric Anderson, Andrew Pope-Joey, Nathan Dufton, Lee Campbell's, Edward Viergen, David Gainforth, and Dakota Wilkins. That is your current standings right now. We don't have any live point updates for you, but it is 43 points to the winner and 1 point back from there. 10, 9, 8, 7 down to 1 for the stages. And then there are some bonus points opportunity. We're going to go ahead right now, take a look. Greg Mitchell, fast time on the racetrack right now at a 3.32.31. He knocks Bowman down to second. Dustin Ping, last week's winner, now up to 5th at a 3.33.321. I don't know why that was so hard. 3 3s and a 2 and a 1. If it's your first time here with us, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give us a like, hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss any more live action coming your way. We got lots more action coming your way all week long. Tom Richter out here in the 34. The Bucky sponsor number 34 on the racetrack. Tom now up to 4th with his second lap. Stephenson going to come across the line for his second lap, see if he can improve on it. He's sitting at 3rd. He does. He moves up to 2nd. Knocks Bowman down to 3rd. So Mike Stiverson will move up into 2nd here in qualifying. Cody Gibson on the racetrack right now for his second lap. Let's see where Cody ends up at. He's number 1 Cheetos car. Tied for the points lead right now. Did not have a good week at Martinsville. Was on the podium last week at Pocono. He needs a good finisher tonight. Across the line, Cody up to 6. A good lap right there. Lap number 2 for Cody Gibson at a 3.33.16. He will move up to 6. Put him outside of the 3rd row for right now, but we got a few more drivers left on the racetrack. Carter Lawson looks to have his 3 laps completed. Here comes Steven Musick. Corey Sherman get his second lap in. He's down there in 23rd. Let's take a look here at Musick on the racetrack in the 09. Working on his second lap as he makes his way through 3 and 4. Musick's going to cross the line. And it looks like he's going to stay down there in 29th. So Musick, not the lap he was hoping for on lap number 2. So we got 30 drivers that have qualified. 2 drivers still on the racetrack. Corey Sherman comes across for lap number 2. And the number 3 AI Chief sponsored up to 6th for Corey Sherman with a 3.33.14. And I am looking at the top 10 separated out by just mere tenths of a second. And we're going to get ourselves lining up here for the feature. Drivers gridding up. We got about a minute here to go grid it up on the racetrack. All right, Rush Championship Series brought to you by AI Chief Racing, AIChiefRacing.com. If you're looking for that little advantage to help you out in your sim racing here on iRacing, take a look at AI Chief Racing. It's going to give you all the tools you need to be successful. And if you're a streamer or a broadcaster, they're actually getting together, putting some overlays and stuff together as well. So just a lot of really good stuff coming our way here from AI Chief. Every week it seems like there's something new. Drivers now on the grid. Let's go ahead and bring your starting lineup. So on the pole, the number 55 of Greg Mitchell, to his outside starting second. It is the 20, Home Depot number 20 of Mike Stifferson. Back to row number 2, starting in third. It's Gary Bowman in the 8 and Tom Richter in the Bucky sponsor number 34. Back to the third row, starting in 5th. It's the 51 of Craig Meyer, and there we find AI Chief himself, the number 3 of Corey Sherman. Row number 4, starting on the inside in 7th. It's the number 1 of Cody Gibson, and actually our 2 points leaders are starting side by side. Row number 4, Cody Gibson and Dustin Ping. Get back to row number 5 as cars are starting to roll off the grid. Eric Anderson in the 43, and Brad Holmes will start to his outside. Back to row number 6, Frank DiMaggio and Chris Rose. In the 7th row, starting in 13th, is Lee Campbell and Ed Jurgen. Row number 8, starting 15th, is Andrew Popejoy and Amanda Sherman. Row number 9, Dakota Williams and Andrew Caldwell. We get back to row number 10. I'm going to have to move this through quickly. Nathan Dufton and Matthew Semple. Row number 11, starting 21st, is Philip Van Fleet and Larry Bell in the 05. In the 12th starting row, starting 23rd, it's David Gainforth. And to his outside, the 65 of Jackie Brannon. We get back to row number 13. There we find the number 19, starting 25th, Logan Spencer. And starting 26th, it's Andy Cork. Back in 27th, it's Carter Lawson. Outside of row number 14, it's Justin Basin. Row 50, starting 29th, is Stephen Mussick and Nicholas Popejoy. And tag in the field, James Kinder and Tanner Marr. That is our 32 starters. I think we got 31 drivers on the racetrack. We're getting ready to go green flag racing here. Green flag in the air. We are underway here. Stage number 1, 27 lap, 3 wide per second. Mitchell, we got a caution already. Caution in here that looks like it might be involving the 3 of Corey Sherman. Sherman around on the middle of the racetrack, and we have got a huge pile up here on the racetrack. The 07 involved, the 46. I see the 17 down there as well. And there's your 3 of Corey Sherman. Amanda Sherman also getting wrapped up in this in the 88. And Nicholas Popejoy right there in the 17. So this must have started somewhere up towards the front, because Corey was starting up in the top 5. We'll go back and see if we can take a look for it real quick and see what happened. Corey now all the way back, and that car is crab walking down the back straightaway. So heavy damage there on the 3. I did not see how many fast repairs we have in this race, but we do have 5 sets of tires. So Corey is going to come down and get repaired. Let's see if we see what happened here to Corey Sherman. And that is not the view we want. So we have to rewind this here. It's of course the only way we're going to get where we want. So it looks like, let's take a look here at Corey, see what happens here to the 3. He's got the, who's that right behind him? That's the 81. And I didn't really look like there was much contact, but unfortunately he slides down across the field, gathers up a bunch of cars. We got the 92 involved. Here comes the 05. Heavy contact from the 67. Of Justin Basin as he piles into the rest. So we got about a dozen cars wrapped up in this. I could not see exactly what happened there, if there was a little netcode issue or what, but it didn't really look like there was a lot of contact. So let's just see if we can take another look here. So Corey is already around at this point. So the 81. So give me a couple nights here to get used to who is who on the racetrack. We'll take a look here at this view from Sherman. And just not really seeing what turned him around there, but unfortunately for Corey Sherman, he is going to be into the pits now with some heavy damage. We'll get back to live action. I'll screwing around with the replays. So thanks for being here with us. Really do appreciate it as we see Corey down there getting some repairs on pit road. Bunch of drivers going to come down pit road. Larry Bell, he'll come down pit road. Greg Mitchell going to stay on the racetrack, so Greg Mitchell will be your leader. Mitchell, Bowman, and Richter. That is now your top three. Biggest mover of the race. We've already got, who is it? Steven Mussick of 17 spots there in that first lap. A lot of drivers. He was able to avoid the incident. Much of drivers involved in it. He's able to move up some spots to the 09 and Mussick. Now up to 12th after starting back in 29. All right, 4 laps into stage number 1. 27 laps in stage 1. 33. We'll go to lap 60 for stage number 2. And then we'll run the last 74 on the final stage of the race. Lights are out on the pace car. As we roll down the back straightaway, it's Mitchell and Bowman will bring us to the line. We got more action coming your way. Happy to be here with the Rush Championship Series. This is our first night here with them. But we got more action coming your way this week. Tomorrow night we have the Smoking Thunder ARCA Series along. See, that is at 7:45 Eastern Time, and then at 10:45 Eastern Time we have the SCCA Sports Club of Fresno, California, running Mazda MX-5 Series. That's a fun little series. Come check that one out. We are off on Thursday, and then we're back Friday night for the Half Decent Racing League. But we're going green flag racing there one more time. Mitchell, Bowman, Richter, Meyer. That's your top 4. Cody Gibson sitting back there in 5th. We're green flag in the air. Mitchell gets a good jump. He carries about a 4 or 5 car length lead into turn number 1. Richter down on the bottom. He's going to make his way around Bowman. Looks like that outside line just did not get a good start right there off at the restart line. Bowman's going to fall back to 4th. Mitchell, Richter, and Gibson all go around him. And here comes the one at Cody Gibson. He's already up 4 spots. He wants to get up here and lead this race. He's in a tight point battle here with Dustin Ping, and he wants to get out in front and lead as many laps as he can. It's a 1-point bonus to lead a lap. It's 10 points if you win, if you lead the stage. So Cody Gibson trying to get to the front. He wants to lead this stage. Take a look a little further back in the pack here. It's Dustin Ping. Dustin in the 81, involved a little bit in that last incident, but right now making his way back up through the field. He started in 8th. He's back up to 15th right now after dropping back in 81 after winning the last couple of races. Looking to make his way through the field. You can see him moving up to 15th now. Right in front of him is Jackie Brandon and Dave Gameforth. Ping now underneath Brandon. Not missing anything up front. We're going to keep on this battle right here. Here comes Dustin Ping down on the bottom of the racetrack. He's got Brandon on his outside. Gameforth right there in front of him. Can he make it a 2 for here off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway? Here comes Ping. Charging back to the front, but up front right now it is still Greg Mitchell. He's got about 0.7 of a second out in front. Back to Cody Gibson. Cody's made his way to 2nd. He is trying to reel in the leader. He wants those stage points. Mitchell, Gibson, Bowman, Richter. That's your top 4. Ping now up another spot. Dustin Ping now up to 12th. He has cleared Brandon, Gameforth, and Vasson all within a matter of about a lap and a half. The 81 of Dustin Ping is making his way back to the front. Bill Van Fleet with a good run. Started back here in 21st. He's now up to 10th. In the AIG sponsored number 89. And he has got Spencer to his outside. They're side by side down the front straightaway. Battle here for 5th and 6th. This is actually 6th and 7th. Dakota Wilkins and Eric Anderson there in the 43. I like that Richard Petty kind of throwback looking number 43 there. Wilkins now up on the back bumper of the 51 of Meyer. That's to get him into the top 5. The Wilkins up 11 spots now. Keep an eye on Dustin Ping, your points leader, tied for your points anyway. Trying to make his way back through the field. He's got heavy traffic in front of him. Van Fleet, Spencer, and DiMaggio all right there. Tom Richter here in the 4th spot. A little further back, we see Eric Anderson and Dufton up on the outside. Ping now to 11th. Makes his way around the outside of Van Fleet for just a moment. Going to try to make it 3 wide here. The 19 of Spencer slides up the racetrack. Looked like Ping was going to make it 3 wide. Thinks better. He's going to tuck back in behind the 19. Side by side right in front of me, see DiMaggio down on the bottom of the racetrack, duffed into his outside. Eric Anderson way up on the outside there. That's a good line here at Miami if you can run it up against that outside wall. And you're going to see a lot of drivers up there as the tires start to go away, but with this short stage here, only 27 laps, tires are going to wear out quickly, but that right front should hold up for 27 laps. We're going to see you keep tires underneath them. Mitchell still out in front. Take a look here at this battle. Van Fleet now taking a look to the inside of Spencer. Into 1. He's looking to make it 2 for 1. He's underneath Spencer. Can he get up alongside DiMaggio as well? A good run there for Van Fleet down on the bottom of the racetrack. Can Ping follow him by? Ping's going to tuck in behind the 89 of Van Fleet. See if he can follow Phillip by Spencer. Takes a peek down to the inside. Ping able to hold the car a little bit lower on the racetrack, right down on the white line. Another battle here a little farther back. This is Campbell. Campbell in the 60. This is for 16th and 17th. He's got Carter Lawson and Andrew Caldwell right there behind him. Caldwell down on the bottom of the racetrack. All right, let's get back up front. Here's your battle. This is for the top 10. Van Fleet. Ping now back up to 11th. Ping with a nice move down to the bottom of turn number 3. He's got a great run down on the white line, but has to check up a little bit through the center of the corner. Car pushes up on him a little bit. He gets out of the throttle. That allows Van Fleet with a drive off the corner. So Van Fleet will hold on to 10th. And pressuring Frank DiMaggio now for 9th. Frank started back. Where did Frank? Frank started in 11th. He's up a spot to 10th. Good racing on going on back here once again with Basin, Campbell, and Brannon. This is back here 15th, 16th, and 17th. Andy Cook back here in 21st. Back up towards the front though. Here's DiMaggio. He's got pressure from Ping on the outside. Van Fleet was able to get around. We're right on board with the 24. We jump in with Dustin Ping. Ping to the outside of DiMaggio. He's going to pick up that 10th spot. Up front, Mitchell and Gibson. This was about 0.7 of a second. It's now under 3. Cody Gibson reeling in Greg Mitchell. He wants those 10 points. He wants those 10 bonus points for the stage win. It's 10, 9, 8, all the way back to 1 for 10th. Van Fleet now up underneath Eric Anderson for 8. Good run through the pack here for Van Fleet, up 13 spots. Let's take a look here at our biggest gainers of the race so far. Van Fleet up 13, Lawson up, and Spencer also up 13, Dufton and Basin up a dozen. Lap leader is going to be pretty boring. Mitchell with 16, and it shows Larry Bell with 1. I'm not sure what that is. I don't remember Larry getting up there and leading the lap. But and route goes Ping off the nose of the 43. So it's Ping and Anderson together down the front straightaways. They head into turn number 1. I had just looked away from the screen. When I looked back, they were going around. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Put us under our second caution of the night. So caution out once again. As we see, it doesn't look like Dustin took too much damage, but he's definitely going to fall back through the field. He's only back in 25th right now from what we can see. All right, let's see if we can see what happened here. I'm not sure if Dustin came up, or I cannot speculate anything because I just didn't see it. All right, so we're already together at this point. All right, let's look here from the chopper cam. See, looking down on the racetrack, you can see Ping on the bottom, Anderson on the top. They come off at turn number 4. Oh, Anderson gets into the wall, bounces down off the wall, gets into the right rear, hooks Ping into the outside wall. So your co-point leader right now of Dustin Ping involved in a second incident here tonight. And Anderson with a mistake right there. It's going to get both of these drivers involved. Look like everybody did a nice job of avoiding it. Only a 2-car incident here at this point. All right, so we've got another little tool in our tool bag, radio replay. The radio replay allows us to capture all the in-car driver's audio and play it back for you when we find something that's interesting. But if you scan the QR code right there, that'll take you to Radio Replay Discord. If you do streaming, even if you just want to collect the, if you do make videos or whatever, broadcast. If you just want to collect the chat audio that you can use for something, check out Radio Replay. It's a really fun tool, something we've been using here for the last couple of weeks. All right, we're going to take this opportunity to step away for just a moment. Here we are here with, my name is Chris Murphy here with the Rush Champion Series, brought to you by AI Chief. 134 laps of action here at Miami for the second to the last race, the penultimate, as they would say. Greg Mitchell, Cody Gibson, Gary Bowman, Tom Richter, Craig Meyer. That is your top 5. We will be right back.
You asked for more, so we built more. Every overlay done. Cleaner, faster, built for racers, and built for streamers. But that was just the warm-up. Introducing the AI Chief Streamer Engine. A full broadcast-style control tower, built right into Chief. One unified chat window, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. Every message all in one place. Someone drops a gift, Chief tells you. Front row Joey dropped the DJ spin. This is a race car, not a charity, but we'll take your money anyway. New follower? Chief tells you. Raid, member, super chat? Chief's already on it. Too busy battling for the lead to read chat? Don't worry, I'll read it for you. Signature Esports says, I know I said something about it on stream, but it would be cool to use Chief to be a pit reporter. This isn't another overlay package. This is your production crew. AI Chief Pro Plus.
We are back to live time. Lights are out on the pace car. Pace car can make that hard left turn down pit road. It's going to be Mitchell and Gibson bringing us to the line. We are only 7 laps away from the end of stage number 1. Mitchell with a good start. Looks like Gibson might have spun the tires a little bit. Richter right there behind him. Going to allow Mitchell to get away by about 0.3 of a second. Side by side back here for 4th and 5th. We see Bowman down on the bottom. Wilkins on his outside. They're going to try to... Looks like they're going to try to put Richter into a sandwich right here. Richter looking to get in the middle. No, they're going to... Richter able to slide up in front of Bowman. Actually up in front of Wilkins. That's Bowman down on the bottom. Right there behind him is Craig Meyer. So Bowman with a good run in the 8. He is down underneath Richter for 30. Going to clear him off of 4. Able to slide up across the nose of the 34. Bowman now to 3rd. Or back to 3rd, I should say. That's right where he started at. Keep an eye on Dustin Ping. He's now back up to 12th. We're going to keep an eye on the 81 cars. He's trying to make his way back through the field once again. Try not to bring the broadcaster's curse. Mitchell has pretty much led from the onset. Gibson, Bowman, Richter, Dakota, Wilkins right there in 5th. That's the way back to Meyer. Meyer down on the inside of Wilkins. And you can just see that outside line just get you a little momentum there off the top of the racetrack. If you can keep the car wound up there, you're able to pull the car off. It's down on the bottom. The driver on the bottom down by the white line is having to get out of the throttle because he knows you're out there and he can't push it too hard or the car will push up the racetrack. So if you can stay on the outside of another driver like that and keep him tight down to the bottom, that's your advantage on the outside of the racetrack. And we're seeing Dakota Wilkins do that right now to Meyer, but Meyer gets a good run into 1. This is for 5th. Right there behind him, it's Van Fleet. And look who's all the way back up to 8th. Dustin Ping in the 81, and he has got a run on Van Fleet. He is going to go down to the inside, down the back straightaway. He is looking to take 7th. And he's not done yet. He has to get out of the throttle The 51 and the 78 had his road blocked right there. Ping had to get out of the throttle. He's able to get up underneath Wilkins. Off the corner. Can he get around Meyer? Watch Ping down here on the bottom. The 81 car. It looks like he's got fresh tires on that thing. He did pit back on lap 18. And I'm sure he took one of his 5 sets of tires because Dustin Ping is coming through the field. All the way back up to 4th right now as he gets around Holmes. So Dustin Ping, he wants these points as bad as Gibson does. They're racing for stage points, 26 of 27. Now we're going to have to see how this if this caution throws right at the start of lap 27 or at the end of it. But the stage is at 27. Ping down to the bottom of Bowman. He's going to take 3rd. And he is looking to get around his championship contender of Gibson. And he is going to do just that off of 4. Ping with a great run on the bottom of the racetrack. He is side by side with Cody Gibson at the line. Ping had it right there at the line. One more lap left to go here in stage number 1. And we got somebody blinking on and off right there. That is the 00 of Holmes. Gibson looks to abuse his stuff up. He is drifting. Cannot keep the car down on the bottom of the racetrack coming off of turn number 2, and he has fallen back. He's now back to 4th. So here in the championship battle, first round is going to go to Dustin Ping. And Dustin, if had one more lap, he might get Mitchell. I mean, he might get him anyway. He has got a great run off of 4. It's going to be a drag race to the line, but it's going to be Mitchell at the line to win the stage. Yellow is out, so Greg Mitchell will win the stage. Dustin Ping in 2nd. Brad Holmes 3rd. Cody Gibson 4th. Gary Bowman, Logan Spencer, Andy Cook, Craig Meyer, Tom Richter, Dakota Wilkins. That is your top 10 for stage number 1. So Mitchell with the stage points. The one thing I'm going to throw up on here. So one thing we didn't get done before we started. So actually on the leaderboard, you're going to be able to see, once we go back to full leaderboard, all the blue cars, anybody highlighted in blue is our top 10 in the championship right now. So Mitchell with that valuable 10 points. Ping will pick up 9. Gibson will pick up 7. Bowman with 6. And Richter down there will pick up 2 points. Alright, so earlier incident with Eric Anderson. So Eric had a little comment on that. Let's see what Eric had to say.
How many people's races I can screw up tonight, it looks like.
But Eric taking full ownership of that incident earlier with Ping. And we're everybody going to dive down pit road right now. It looks like maybe Andy Cork will stay on the racetrack. Andy did pit on lap 18. I would assume. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to go to the end of that stage at 33, but he could short pit the stage. So your leader right now, Andy Cook, with all the rest of the drivers down pit road. We take a look here at Corey Sherman. Corey involved in an earlier incident after starting up in the top 5. Corey still down in 29th, a lap down after taking some heavy repairs. There's our stage one winner, Greg Mitchell, but Logan Spencer's going to win the race off of pit road. Spencer off of pit road first in the 19. So he will try to chase down Cook. Mitchell comes off in 2nd, then it's Holmes. Gibson and Ping now down to 6 after finishing the stage in 2nd. All right, thank you so much for joining us out there. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, give us a like, hit the bell, call your friends, call your neighbors. Let them know how much you're enjoying your coverage here on DRSN of the Rust Championship Series, brought to you by AI Chief, AIChiefRacing.com for your iRacing needs. But right now, Cook, Spencer, Mitchell, that is your top 3. It looks like we're going to go around one more time, so we're going to get lined up side by side. Spencer to the outside. Spencer's on fresh tires. Cork pitted back on lap 18, so he's got 11 lap older tires. as we find ourselves on lap 31 already. Stage 2 will end at lap 60. So once again, drivers in blue are the highlighted playoff drivers. Greg Mitchell, right now the highest finishing driver there in heat race, excuse me, in stage number 1. I used to call them my dirt track races. So Mitchell is currently in 6th in points, so he needs a good finish here. Caldwell, is Caldwell here tonight? Andrew Caldwell is not here with us, so it's a battle. Actually, Andrew is down there in 20th. So Andrew down there in the 20th spot. So it's a battle for 6th for that final spot between Mitchell and Caldwell. Right now, Mitchell's got a stranglehold on it right now, running up in the top 4, winning the stage number 1. We roll off of turn number 4. Green flag will fly here for the start of stage number 2. Cork and Spencer. Cork did not get a good start. That's going to allow Spencer to take the lead down into 1. Holmes in the 00 will follow suit. Mitchell down on the bottom, kind of stuck behind Cook. Or Cork there. Cork just did not get a good start. And there goes Logan Spencer up on the outside. He will take the lead here on lap 31. Cork to 2nd. Mitchell now back to 3rd. And there's Dustin Ping. So Mitchell and Ping nose to tail just as they finish stage number 1. Gibson down on the bottom. Watch the 55, the 81, and the 1. I think that's where our battle is going to be right now, but here comes Bowman in the 8 and Brad Holmes in the 00. If you're out there in YouTube land, let us know who you're rooting for. Down the back straightaway, 3 wide. That is Andy Cork way down on the bottom of the racetrack. Bowman right there in the middle. Holmes to his outside. Ping now falls behind Gibson right now for 3rd, and York is going to fall back to 4th, so Mitchell now to the point. Mitchell, Gibson, and Ping, your top 3. Spencer did a good job jumping out in front, was able to lead a couple laps, but he is now going to fall back to 4th. Keep an eye on Mitchell. Here's a battle going on back here. This is for 12th and 13th. Dufton down there on the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to make his way around Meyer. Andy Cork, your leader there at that restart, now all the way back here to 10th. So the strategy of staying out there on those older tires is not paying off for the 41. He is falling back through the field, and Nathan Dufton looks to be the next car that's going to get around him. Three wide right there behind him. Down on the bottom of the racetrack is Carter Lawson. Craig Meyer in the middle of the 46 of Caldwell as well. So Caldwell trying to get up there. He needs to get up there and battle with Mitchell if he is going to have a chance to stay in the top 6. This is your battle for about 10th on back. Wilkins there in the 10th spot. He is going to take a look up underneath Spencer. Going to make the pass. Dakota Wilkins gets back to 10th. Spencer now falls to 11th. 2x2 here to the middle of the pack. Not missing much up front. Cody Gibson has made his way back to 2nd. And our top 3 are checking out right now. It is about 1 second now. Back to the 4th place running. Gary Bowman, Mitchell, Gibson, and Ping, your top 3. Mitchell slides up the racetrack just a little bit. I thought Gibson might have had a look underneath. Ping pushes up off of 2. Just about gets into the outside wall. A nice save from Dustin Ping to keep the 81 off the fence. Jump on board here with the 05 of Larry Bell. Cena moves up to 14th. He gets around Spencer. Spencer just keeps falling. He led at the start of stage number 2. Dustin Ping to the inside of Gibson. This is for 2nd. Ping down on the bottom. Gibson chases the car way up the racetrack. Up the hill goes Gibson. Is he going to have a good run here off of 2? And way up on the top of the racetrack, and you can just see what momentum Cody Gibson was able to carry down the back straightaway. He makes his way back to 2nd. Dustin Ping had a good run into 1, but Cody Gibson able to fight back off of turn number 2. down the back straight. He finds his way back to second. In the meantime, let's let Mitchell get away a little bit. About 2 car lengths now out in front, about 0.2 of a second. Philip Van Fleet with a good run, up 15 spots after starting back in 21st. He's now up to 6th. Greg Mitchell out of Austin, Texas. He has led most of this race. Cody Gibson right there behind him. And that's your points battle right there. Cody Gibson out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, and Dustin Ping out of Columbus, Indiana. That is your 2 points leaders right there. Mitchell back in 6th. Mitchell's going to need a lot of help if he's going to have a chance to win the championship next week. Right now, he's just trying to stay up front, stay in the top 6, actually. Give himself a chance on the final race next week at Richmond. Corey Sherman back in pit road. Mitchell has had some good pace right here. Let's take a look at our lap leaders. It's going to be a pretty short list here. Mitchell with 37 laps led. Cork was able to lead a couple. Spencer led 2. And Larry Bell was able to get friendly. We're under caution once again. And it looks like it might be involving Van Fleet, as he is already down pit road. So caution on the speedway once again. This is our 3rd caution of the night for incident. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. I thought it was Van Fleet, but I'm not sure. He's already down on the pit road down here. See if we can figure it out. I'm not getting a very good indication here. So Philip had pulled over down the back straightaway here onto the road course section. I don't think that would have been the caution. So I'm not quite sure what brought out that caution. I do not see any notification on our list. We are at lap 41. I'm looking up at the I'm going to put our chat, see if I can figure it out, but not able to figure out exactly what happened there. But we're under caution again. And it looks like our leaders are going to take advantage. They're going to come down pit road. But Cody Gibson is going to stay out on the racetrack. So is Dustin Ping. So that's Greg Mitchell will come down and pit here on lap 43. We got 16 laps left to go in the 2nd stage. Alright, so some reason it is glitching Larry Bell to the lead here. But we know that Cody Gibson is our leader, so that's why it was showing Larry with a lap lead not accurate for some reason. As the timing and scoring gets itself situated out, Cody Gibson back to the top. Alright, we are on lap 43 actually. 17 laps left to go here in stage number 1. So let's see. Philip has something to say here. That's what he said.
Tom, I don't know if that's on me or not, but I was just getting off the track. But I have to leave anyway, so you can put it on me if you want.
So it looks like Van Fleet with an incident. We did not see exactly what it was, but he is going to be disconnected from the server. He's got to take off. So unfortunate technical difficulties for Van Fleet. He had a good run. He has moved way up through the field after starting 21st, up into the top 5. So Van Fleet looks to retire from this event. And your leader is Cody Gibson in the 1. Lights are out on the pace car. We're off at turn number 2. And we've still got, it looks like Corey Sherman's still down on pit road. Alright, we're halfway through stage number 2. And it is the battle between Gibson and Dustin Ping. Let's keep an eye on Greg Mitchell. Greg, the first driver back here that just pitted on lap. They pitted on lap 42 here, just a lap ago. It looks like he probably took tires as far as I can see. So watch Greg Mitchell as he's going to charge back through the field. All right, roll off turn number 4. Green flag in the air and a fantastic jump for Cody Gibson. But look at Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes right there on the back bumper of the 1 into turn number 1. That's going to drop Dustin Ping back to 3rd. So Dustin Ping, not a great start right there. Falls back to 3rd, but we're going to see the 81, I'm sure, come back up here. Dustin has been strong on that. He's been up and down throughout the field. Nicholas Popejoy with an incident here on the back straightaway in the 17. As he's slowed down there off of turn number 2. The dude wipes number 17. Greg Mitchell now back up into the 9th spot, and he has Jackie Brandon in the 65. He's going to go down to the inside into 1. Mitchell now looking to get back to 8th. He does it with ease. Brandon pushes way up the racetrack. Has to get out of the throttle to keep it off the wall. Mitchell now to 7th. He goes around Meyer as well. So here comes the 55 of Greg Mitchell. He is coming back to the front. Three wide right here. Mitchell in the middle of the racetrack, down on the bottom. It's Dakota Wilkins. Caldwell up on the outside. Across the line, Mitchell now back to 5th. He is going to get by 5 cars in about a lap and a half. Fresh tires on the 55. He wants to win this stage. He won stage number 1. We've got 13 laps left to go in stage number 2. Cody Gibson, your leader, in the number 1 Cheeto sponsored car. Brad Holmes to 2nd. Ping now back in 3rd. And Mitchell now around Richter. Mitchell will get around Tom Richter for 4th. The next car up the road will put him into a podium spot. Dustin Ping in 3rd. Here comes the 55 of Greg Mitchell. Mitchell with the most wins on the season. He's won 6. Looking to pick up win number 7 tonight. And he clears Dustin Ping. He sets his sight around the outside of Brad Holmes. The 55 is on a mission, and he is now to 2nd. Behind him, the 46 of Caldwell. They are battling out for 6th. The final transfer spot, the final playoff spot is going to come down to Mitchell and Caldwell right now at this point. That is your battle for 6th in the standings. And you can see 7 of our top 10 playoff drivers all right now in the top 10. Only Semple, Stiverson that are in this race are down out of the top right. And there goes Mitchell back to the front. He has made his way all the way back to the lead after pitting on the last caution at lap 42. Greg Mitchell back out in front. We've got 10 laps left to go here in stage number 2. Caldwell is going to come by. Caldwell also took tires about the same time on the same lap. He is up to 2nd. Gibson now falls back to 3rd. And it looks like most of these drivers just trying to make it to the end of this stage. We'll see if anybody short pits. If you're racing for in the playoff spot, you may not want to short pit. You want to get up there and get as many points as you can. Look at the 47 of Dufton. Dufton also pitted on lap 42, so you can see the fresh tires really coming into play here. Mitchell Caldwell and Matthew Dufton and Gary Bowman all pitted on lap 42. And they're making their way back to the front of the field. Gibson now to 3rd. Dustin Pink falls down to 7th. He's got Brad Holmes to his outside there in the 00. Holmes going to go down to the bottom. He's going to cut back underneath of Ping down the back straightaway. The 05 of Bell is looking to follow suit. And here comes Carter Lawson there in the 98. Also looking to make his way around. 3 wide off of turn number 4. It's Ping, Bell, and Lawson. Lawson way up on the racetrack using that outside line. There goes the 05 of Bell now back up to 7th. Up front, though, it is still Mitchell. And he's got close to half a second back to the 2nd place car of Andrew Caldwell. Running a little bit different lines. You can see Mitchell right down on the bottom. right on the white line. Caldwell up on the outside. Keep an eye on the gap right here between these two. Six-tenths of a second between Caldwell and Mitchell. Let's see how this, see if that gap shrinks off the corner as Caldwell running that a little bit higher line. And no, it's actually going to stretch out a little bit, so up to about 7.5 tenths of a second now for the battle between Caldwell and Mitchell. And it's another 1.5 seconds back to Bowman. He has got his hands full with the 47 and Nathan Dufton. Dufton down on the bottom of the racetrack trying to find a way around Bowman for third. And here comes Frank DiMaggio. Frank DiMaggio started in 11th. He's back up to 5th. He was up here earlier, got involved in a little incident earlier. He's now got his way back into the top 5. He is trying to find a way around Dufton there for 4th. Battle going on back here in the middle of the pack. Meyer and Wilkins. Wilkins up to 15th. Meyer down on the bottom of the racetrack. The 51 of Meyer trying to find his way around. 3 wide through the middle goes Logan Spencer. Logan led at the start of stage number 2. Hit it on lap 42. He's trying to make his way back through the field. He is going to split Meyer and Wilkins right there. Dustin Ping is struggling on these tires. Pitted way back on lap 29. Cody Gibson as well pitted on lap 29. Ping right now in danger of not gaining any stage points at this point. He is now out of the stage points. He's down on 11th, and we've got 5 laps left to go to complete stage number 2. And it looks like Richter is also going to get around. Actually, Amanda Sherman is going to get around Dustin Ping, so Ping now back to 12. Still a good battle there. We'll get back up in his battle up here. Sherman's going to clear. Amanda Sherman is going to clear Ping. Let's see if Ping is now out of the... He is now out of the points here in the stage. Is he going to come down here and short pit? So we got a few laps left to go. If he short pits this stage, puts him out in front when we start the final stage of the event. The last 74 laps. Up front, it's still Mitchell. Caldwell's got his hands full. And here comes Gary Bowman now to the bottom of the racetrack in the 8. Trying to get around Caldwell for second. A little further back, it's the 24 of DiMaggio. Side by side for second, Bowman and Caldwell into turn number 3. DiMaggio with a good run into 3 as well. He is looking to get up alongside of Caldwell, get into a podium spot. Caldwell knows all the points he can get if he is going to fight off Mitchell for that final playoff spot. But is there battle it out for 6th? Right now, Mitchell out in front. Mitchell will have picked up 10 points. He already got a bonus point for leading a lap. 10 points for winning stage number 1. Looking to get 10 more for winning stage number 2. Greg Mitchell might just be making his way into the battle for the points championship. Larry Bell back here in the 05. He is chasing down Carter Lawson in the 98. Let's take a look at our biggest gainers of the race here as we come across the line. This should start. We've got 2 more laps left to go. So next lap around will be the last lap of the stage. So our biggest gainers of the race right now. Carter Lawson up 21 spots. Started back in 27th. All the way up to 6th. Andy Cork up 18. Music up 16. Bell and Caldwell both up 15 spots in this race. All right, side by side for third. DiMaggio down to the bottom of the racetrack. Across the line, this should be the final lap of the stage. As Caldwell fights back to DiMaggio on the inside into 1. He wants those 8 stage points. Up front, it is still Greg Mitchell. Is he going to make his way off of turn number 4? Bowman back there in second. This year battle for third. Caldwell on the bottom of DiMaggio off of turn number 4. Across the line to win the stage is going to be Mitchell. And I don't see a caution thrown yet. So there it is. So caution out for stage number 2. That is going to be our final stage break. And then we will go 74 laps to the end of this thing. Greg Mitchell out in front. He's won both stages so far. Bowman with a good run up into second. Caldwell gets some stage points. He's up to fourth. Dufton in fifth. Carter Lawson sixth. Larry Bell with a good run up to seventh in the second stage. Andrew Popejoy in eighth. Andy Cork ninth. And Amanda Sherman's going to come home with a point here in 10th. All right, so that is going to wrap it up here for stage number 2. From here on out, we will go the final distance to lap 134. Greg Mitchell. Now, I don't have a good calculator here telling me where he's at, but he has picked up 20 points already. And if we take a look at those points as we came in, Greg Mitchell was about 25 points behind Gibson and Ping. So if Gibson and Ping have a little bit of issue right here, Mitchell could find his way. He could have a 3-car battle for the championship at Richmond next Tuesday night. Everybody coming down pit road. You can see Corey Sherman has got the 3-car parked on the bottom of the racetrack, or excuse me, on pit road. He is done for the night. Here comes your leader, Greg Mitchell. Everybody coming down pit road. All right, so we're going to step away once again. My name is Chris Murphy here on DRSN, bringing you coverage of the Rush Champion Series here, brought to you by AIChiefRacing.com, and we're going to be right back.
Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief, you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action.
All right, we are back to live action on the racetrack, end of stage number 2. Pit stops have taken place, and Greg Mitchell back out in front. A good stop there from Greg Mitchell. A 15.02 looks like he took 4 tires. Everybody took 4 tires from far as I can tell. Pace car down pit road. We're going to go green flag racing once again here on lap 65. Mitchell with a fantastic jump leaves DiMaggio and Bowman about 5 or 6 car lengths back. DiMaggio down the bottom of the racetrack, Bowman on the outside. Then it's Andrew Caldwell, Nathan Dufton now up into the top 5. Bowman pushes up the racetrack off of 2, is going to lose some momentum. He is going to fall back now to 6th. Lawson goes by on the inside. Here comes the 25 at Popejoy. We have not mentioned Andrew's name much during this event, and right there behind him is Cody Gibson in the 1. But right now, Cody Gibson is winning the battle between himself and Dustin Ping. Where is Ping? Ping down in 11th, Gibson in 8th. I don't think either one of them gained any stage points in that second stage, so right now, the advantage has to go to Dustin Ping, as he was second in stage number 1. All right, we see the 46 of Caldwell in second. DiMaggio right there with him. top 3 all playoff contenders, Mitchell, Caldwell, Bowman, now down in 5th, also in the playoffs. And he has got Carter Lawson right there behind him. Carter now up 21 spots, our biggest mover of the race. Started way back in 27th, now up to 6th, as he's on the outside of Andrew, Popejoy, and Gibson now on his back bumper. Jump on the roof, the hood cam there of Cody Gibson as he chases down the 25 of Popejoy and the 98 of Lawson. And it looks like Cody is just a little better through the center of the corner, and he is going to get a good run off of 4. He is going to get around Lawson. Ping also going to get around Lawson. They're now up to 7th and 8th. DiMaggio hanging on to 3rd, but he has got Nathan Dufton right there in the 47 all over the back bumper of the 24. We look back from the back bumper here of the 24, DiMaggio. Meyer racing here with Logan Spencer. This is 13th and 14th. Right up in front of him, Amanda Sherman and Andy Cork. Sherman down on the bottom of the racetrack. Cork on the outside. The 41's got to run off at 2. A little further back here, we see Nicholas Popejoy. We got 2. I didn't realize we had 2 Popejoys in the race. Andrew and Nicholas. So Nicholas in the 17. Fighting back here with the 34, Tom Richter. Richter in 23rd, Popejoy, and Nicholas Popejoy in 23rd. But up front right now, it is all Greg Mitchell. He is a second out in front. As we take a look at the last 5 laps here between Mitchell and Caldwell, and you can see right there, Caldwell's losing almost a full 1/10 of a second per lap to the leader. So Caldwell doing everything he can to reel in Greg Mitchell, but right now this is all Greg Mitchell's race. He has led the most laps, won both stages, but look at Cody Gibson. Gibson now on the outside of Dufton for 4th. Well, Mitchell has won 6 races on this season. Gibson's won 5. So Gibson looking to pick up win number 6 to tie Mitchell for the most for the season, but right now he has made his way around Dufton, and he is now up to 4th. And here comes Dustin Ping on the bottom of the 47. Ping with a run underneath Dufton. He wants to get back into the top 5. We are looking to have a barn burner next week at Richmond for the championship. If it finishes the way it is right now, I would have to think Mitchell, Gibson, and Ping are going to be pretty close on points. But there is still a lot of laps left to go as we are on lap 72, 63 to go. And Cody Gibson has made his way back to 4th. Dustin Ping right there looks to be one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. Let's take a look here. 5 fastest cars on the racetrack. The last time by was Dustin Ping, the 33.81. But they just refreshed it as I pulled that up, so it's going to be Caldwell, Boston, Gibson, Ping, and Cook. That's your top 5 for lap times the last time by. Let's see if we can find some side-by-side racing here on the racetrack. We've got, it looks like Carter Lawson on the bottom. And that is Larry Bell in the 05 on the outside. This is back there for 9th and 10th. Off of turn number 4, side-by-side across the line. This time it's going to be Bell. It's going to take that 9th spot away. Lawson to 10th. Amanda Sherman lurking back there in 11th. Amanda with a good run, starting the 16th, up 5 spots. All right, let's take a look back up front. Caldwell in second. DiMaggio still lurking right there. It's been about 2 car lengths away here for the last few laps. It's about 1.7 seconds between DiMaggio and Caldwell right now. As DiMaggio takes a look to the inside off of 4 down the front straightaway. Does not have the momentum. Caldwell's able to hang on to second. Jump on board with DiMaggio. Down to the bottom of turn number 1. They're side by side. And watch Caldwell pull away off the corner. Just that too much momentum there on the outside of the racetrack. DiMaggio doing a good job of hanging right there, but Caldwell's And DiMaggio with a great run into 3. Caldwell lifts a little bit early right there. Let's see if DiMaggio can slide up in front. Not quite clearing the 46. He's got to stay on the bottom. But going to clear him off of turn number 4. DiMaggio now to second. We'll put Caldwell back to third. So Caldwell in the points battle with their leader, Greg Mitchell. He is going to have to get around Mitchell. Hope Mitchell has a problem if he is going to make his way into the final 6. Unless there's somebody in front of him that's having a really bad night too. I'm kind of just have to take a look at that. But right now it's Gibson there in 4th. Ping right there in 5th. So let's see who else is in the top. So we've got Rick Thompson. So Rick not here with us tonight. So I'm not sure if that's I believe I saw something on the server where they give a waiver if you miss a race. If anybody out there in the YouTube world can tell me, let me know. But right now, Gibson up to 3rd, brings Ping with him. Caldwell now back to 5th. Good battle going on back here. Once again, Andy Cork and Larry Bell. Amanda Sherman has made her way around both of them. She's now up to 10th in the 88 AI Chief sponsored number 88. Up into the top 10 after starting in the 16th. Spencer into the wall. Logan Spencer led us to the start at stage number 2. He's led a couple of laps here, but having trouble. He's back here in 20th. He gets a little piece of the wall there off of 4. Back up here. Popejoy now up underneath Dufton. This is for 7th. Side by side, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. 77 laps down, 57 to go. Popejoy able to move back to 7th, pushes up the racetrack. Dufton trying to try to cross him over off of 2. Take a look up at Gibson. Ping was able to get around Cody Gibson for that 3rd spot. So just a few laps ago, Ping was back there in 5th. He's now up to 3rd. Caldwell back to 4th. Gibson falls back to 5th. So this is our battle right now for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's Payne, Caldwell, Gibson, Bowman, and Popejoy. So Cody Gibson now back to 5th. Caldwell makes his way around. And Gibson with a big dive underneath the 46 into 1. I don't think he has enough momentum to clear him through the center of the corner, but we're going to see if Caldwell gets a good run off of 2. And he's able to slide back in front of the 1. Brad Holmes side by side with Campbell and Amanda Sherman. So the 00 trying to make his way back to the front. Brad Holmes trying to get back into the top 10. Back here in 12th right now. He's got the 60 on the inside. Almost a little contact in the center of the corner right there. The 60 of Campbell slid up. Slight contact with the left side door of the 00. But they're going to be able to keep it going straight. We're still clean and green. Greg Mitchell now 2.4 seconds out in front of this field. DiMaggio back to 2nd. Ping now to 3rd, and a little separation between them two as well, about 0.7 of a second. Then it's Gibson trying to get around Caldwell now for 4th. And here comes Gary Bowman back into the picture. Bowman. So I'm not sure what the fuel mileage is. I know Corey Sherman's out there watching. So Corey, if you know what the fuel mileage is, let me know. So I'm sure we're going to have another stop here at one point. We're 3 wide off at turn number 2. Bowman on the bottom, Caldwell way on the outside. It is a Gibson sandwich. I guess we can call it a Cheetos sandwich. The Cheetos sponsor on the number 1. Caldwell able to clear the both of them. He is back up to 4th. I don't know. Have you ever had a Cheetos sandwich on like Wonder White bread? That'd probably be pretty good. I think my grandkids would probably like that. Little action going on back here in the middle of the pack. Music there in the 09, now up to 13th. He gets around Amanda Sherman. Amanda moved her way up to 10th, now falling back through the field. Now back to about 15th now at this point as Music gets by. Meyer also looking to get by on the outside. And we have got a great 3-car battle up here. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Caldwell back to 3rd. Gibson to 4th. Bowman up on the outside in the 8. And right now, Greg Mitchell just driving away. It is about 0.4 of a second now out in front 3 seconds. Sorry, I said 4 tenths. 3 seconds for Mitchell now. Clear of DiMaggio back there in second. We got a great 3-car battle going on right here, though. Caldwell, Bowman, and Gibson. Gibson fights back up on the outside. So last lap around, it was Bowman on the outside, Gibson on the bottom. They switched spots. So we're hearing maybe 40 laps for a green flag run. Mostly drivers pitted on lap 62. So we should be looking for stops somewhere between, I'm guessing, about 95 to 105. Let's see who's going to be the first one to blink. Mitchell has got such a big lead right now. He has just got to make a good green flag stop. Once again, don't forget, we got more action coming your way this week. Tomorrow night is the Smoking Thunder ARCA Series at 7:45 Eastern Time. And then we're back at 10:45 Eastern for the Fresno SCCA Club of America Mazda MX-5. That's a really fun little series we've been covering about once a month on Wednesday nights. Then we're back on Friday night for the Half Decent Racing League. And then keep an eye on Saturday night. We may be here for the JWRE Racing Super Speedway Money Series. They just ran the big PGR Slam, the 499 Slam last week in the Super Speedway Series. It was Nick Sipple picking up the win in that one. A lot of times we'll see Nick on these Saturday nights, so look for a good showing Saturday night for the JWRE Racing. And we have got a cluster of cars right here. This is back here for about 10th, 11th, 12th on back. Here comes the 41 of Andy Cork. Up on the back of Brad Holmes, the 09 of Music down on the bottom of the racetrack, the 51 of Meyer, 3 wide, Tom Richter in the middle. Anderson down on the bottom. Eric Anderson involved in an incident earlier with Ping. They're 3 wide off of 2. A great run down on the bottom for Eric Anderson. He moves up to 14th. He gets around Meyer and Richter. Richter comes down the bottom of the racetrack. He's 3 wide once again. Richter again, right, the meat in the sandwich here. 3 wide off of 4. Here comes the 34, trying to get himself up in the top 10. He's now back here in 14th, trying to get around the 41 of Andy Cork. And he is going to do just that. Anderson and Wilkins side by side right there behind him. Richter able to slide up in front of the 41. Move Richter back to 13th. Next car up the road is the 09 of Music. We're trying to find you side-by-side action on the racetrack up front right now. It is all Greg Mitchell. Cody Gibson now is back to 5th. He's got Caldwell right behind him. Pig now to 2nd. Let's take a look at the last 5 laps between DiMaggio and Mitchell here. 2.5 tenths a second per lap. Greg Mitchell over DiMaggio. So just pulling away right now. 4.2 seconds. All right, let's take a look here. We're going to see I think we're going to see pit stops here pretty soon. Caldwell back up to 6th. Look at Popejoy, Nicholas Popejoy. Up on the outside of the 15 of Gainforth. This is back here for 18th and 19th. We can find some side-by-side out here. Brad Holmes now up on the outside of Music. This is for 12th. So Holmes in 12th. Music in 11th. Right there behind him you see Richter and looks like Meyer in the 51. Tom Richter started up in 4th. Fell back through this field trying to get himself back up to the outside of the 00 Holmes. A great run there from Richter. He will clear Holmes off of turn number 2. Move himself up into 12th. Three wide off of turn number 4. Back here for about 11, 12 to 13. As you can see back there was Meyer, Holmes, and Anderson. Anderson down on the bottom of the racetrack. We're keeping an eye on the battle up front. You're not missing anything. This is the closest battle on the racetrack right now. as we see Anderson and Wilkins side by side. Anderson pushes up a little bit to the center of the corner. Has to get out of the throttle. That is going to let Wilkins drive away from him. So Wilkins now to 14th. So Mitchell, our top 6 drivers, all in the all in the playoff picture. Mitchell, DiMaggio, Ping, Bowman, Gibson, and Caldwell. Right now, I believe it's going to be Caldwell on the outside looking in. I'm not sure, but Ryan Thompson is not here tonight, and I'm not sure if they gave him a waiver. Once again, we got Corey Sherman up there in the YouTube chat. Maybe Corey can tell us. Music and then 09 right here, trying to get around the outside of Richter there in the 34. A little further back here, Andy Court up on the outside of Gainworth. Jackie Brandon right there with him as well in the 65. I like the paint job on the 65. That's somebody spent a bunch of time on that. Meyer around Music. Meyer back to 12. All right, let's take a look here at Cody Gibson. Gibson's made his way back around Caldwell. Bowman up to 4th. Bowman starting to reel in. Let's take a look at the last 5 laps here between Bowman and Ping. And it's pretty much matched at this point. So the last couple laps, Bowman was quicker. We'll keep an eye on that battle and see if Bowman can reel him in here off the corner. You can see the advantage shrinking a little bit, and then right down the center of the straightaway, Ping's able to stretch that back out, so it's about 5 seconds as they head into turn number 3. All right, let's keep an eye on our pit stops. See who's going to dive down first as we drive right on board with the 55 of Greg Mitchell. Greg has now led 85 of the 95 laps. This is Greg Mitchell's race to lose at this point, and it looks like, oh, I thought he might be coming down pit road. All right, let's take a look here. I don't think we've talked about Lee Campbell much in the 60. He's now made his way up into 11th. Looking to find a way around Richter to get himself into the top 10. .38 laps left to go for Greg Mitchell. Trying to pick up win number 7 on the season. I got there, check myself. Yeah, win number 7 for Mitchell. If he can hang on here for the next 37 laps. I've got Meyer here up on the outside of the 60 at Campbell. This is for 11th and 12th. Crosses him over across the start-finish line. Meyer looking to get around Campbell to get himself up to 11th. He's got a good run into the corner. Into turn number 1. He got just a little bit up the road. Is a 34 of Richter. Meyer now back to 11. And it looks like we got our first pit stop. Larry Bell coming down pit road. We see Justin Vassar also down pit road. So Gibson also going to make his way down pit road in the 1. So the first of our top 5 to pit here on lap 98. We expected pit stops between 95 and about 103. So Gibson now down pit road. Here comes Mitchell. Mitchell 6 seconds clear of DiMaggio. DiMaggio in second. It's about a half a second back to Ping. And Dustin Pink's hanging on to 30. Got Gary Bowman in the 8 all over the back of him. All right, so let's see. Where did Gibson cycle out? So Gibson cycled out on the racetrack. Let's see, where is Mitchell on the racetrack? So Gibson's now making his way around turn 3 and 4. Looks like Mitchell making his way down into 1. Eric Anderson also coming down pit road. James Kinder. Anderson now making his way off after his last pit stop. Brandon in the 65 now coming down pit road. All right, when is Mitchell going to come? He's got a big enough lead. It would be no matter, somebody would have to pit. Oh, he's going to come down pit road right here. I was going to say, it's such a big lead. The undercut really wasn't going to work for him. Anybody on the racetrack. Mitchell going to dive down for his final pit stop here on lap 100. That is going to put Frank DiMaggio out in front in the number 24 DuPont car. Ping to second. Bowman to third. The 19 of Spencer trying to unlap himself. He had just pitted here on lap 99. So watch the difference in these fresh tires. Watch Spencer in the 19. How far he's able to drive that car into the corner on Dustin Ping. So Spencer looking to unlap himself here. At least one of his laps. I think he's down a couple. As he gets around Ping and he's going to set his sights on DiMaggio. All right, let's see where Mitchell comes out onto the racetrack. So Greg Mitchell in the 55 making his way off of pit road after the final stop of the night. He will blend in off of turn number 2. Right now he's in 8th. And by far the first driver that's made his last stop. Let's watch DiMaggio. DiMaggio looked like he was checking up to get down pit road. He did exactly that. Had to get out of the throttle, made his way down pit road. So DiMaggio down pit road. That's going to put Ping out in front. Carter Lawson in second. So Ping going to stay out there for a while. We're going to see if that hurts him or helps him. If he can get a caution here, that's going to really hurt him. He has to go. He's going to have to go way to the back of these cars that have already pitted. So Mitchell making his pit stop. Gibson about 2 seconds back. So Gibson pitted a couple of laps earlier than Mitchell, and that actually was a big advantage for him. He is making up some time. So he pitted about 3 laps earlier, but let's see how that shakes out at the end. So Gibson now to second. Carter Lawson now with the lead, the last car on the racetrack. So a bunch of drivers getting a chance to get a bonus point here, staying out onto the racetrack, leading a lap as we cycle through the pit stops. So Dustin Ping makes his way down pit road in the 81. So it's a battle between Ping and Gibson. So we're going to see where they come out onto the racetrack. As Dustin Ping comes down, looks like he's going to take right sides for sure. And Gibson has already made his way around the 81. So those 3 extra laps really paid off for Cody Gibson. And here comes your leader, Carter Lawson. He'll make his way down pit road in the 98. And that will hand the lead back over to the 55 Greg Mitchell with 30 laps left to go. 29 when they come across the stripe. Let's take a look again here at our lap leaders. It's been all Greg Mitchell. 91 out of 105 laps led. Cody Gibson was able to lead 7. Bell with a couple. Andy Cork has led a couple. DiMaggio, Spencer, Ping, and Lawson all picking up a bonus point for leading at least 1 lap. Biggest gainers of the race, Carter Lawson up 18 spots. Actually, it looks like he's going to come down a pit road now, so Carter Lawson not the biggest mover of the race. It's Steven Mussick up 15 spots. Caldwell 13. Popejoy, Andrew Popejoy that is, up 12. Carter Lawson 11. And Nathan Dufton up 10. Alright, so let's see. Can Cody Gibson reel in Greg Mitchell? It is now just a little under 4 seconds. 4.08 seconds as we take a look at it. So Cody Gibson's going to need a caution if he is going to do anything with Greg Mitchell right now. Greg Mitchell has been pretty flawless in this race, not make any mistakes. And it is Greg Mitchell's race here to pick up his number 7 victory on the season, put himself in a point battle. Gibson running in second. That's about the best he can do at this point. It's going to give him 42 points for second. He did pick up some stage points in stage number 1. But Mitchell looking to pick up the maximum amount of points. Will have sat on the pole, led the most laps, led a lap, won both stages. Looking to win this race. He will take home maximum number of points for tonight. So I think we're going to come down to a 3-car battle next Tuesday night at Richmond for the championship. All right, little battle going on back here. This is for 11th, 12th, and 13th. You can see Holmes looking to the outside of Wilkins. That is for 11th, right up the road. In front of him there is the 51 of Wilkins. And a little further back, it's the 60 of Campbell. They're basically 3 wide off of 4. Meyer, Wilkins, and Holmes. Holmes in the middle of the racetrack across the line. 3 wide right there. Who's going to give into turn number 1? Nobody. They're going to stay 3 wide into 1. Looks like Holmes might have got a little bit loose right there. Chases the car up the hill just a little bit. And has to get out of the throttle to keep it off the 51. The contact right there. Contact between the 00 and the 51. Meyer is going to go around. Around goes the 51. And there's the caution that Cody Gibson needed. We were watching that 3-car battle, and they were so close all the way down the front straight area through 1 and 2. Craig Meyer had a good run going. He started in 5th in this race. He is going to fall all the way back right now, down to 20th. And let's see if we can see exactly what happened there. And you can see Holmes. Let's find a better shot here. Something closer. There we go. You can see Holmes in the middle of the racetrack. And he's chasing the car up the hill, and it just picks up a push right there off of 2. Gets into the back of the 51. Unfortunately for the 60. Also going to catch a piece of that is Campbell. Let's see if we can take a look at that from the nose cam of Campbell. So you're going to see right here on the right side. Well, the right front fender would probably be better. Holmes gets into the 51, slides sideways across the nose of the 60. They make contact right there. And you can see the damage on the left front of Campbell's car. Well, we've got 24 laps left to go. Let's see if anybody dives down pit road. We get back to live racing action. And here come our leaders. Mitchell down pit road, Gibson. And it looks like just about everybody going to make their way down pit road. And Amanda Sherman stays on the racetrack. She is a lap down. Caldwell's going to stay on the racetrack. Andrew Popejoy also stays on the racetrack. Popejoy pitted back on lap 98. Caldwell on lap 101. All right, we're going to go ahead and step away here for a minute. Once again, 111 laps down, 23 laps left to go here at Miami Homestead for the penultimate race of the Rush Champion Series. Next week, we'll round it out at Richmond, but right now it's Andrew Popejoy, Andrew Caldwell, Nathan Dutton. Is that Dutton or Dufton? It's Dufton, Dustin Ping, Carter Lawson. That's your top 5. And it looks like Ping might have came in and taken... No, it's like everybody took 4, but Mitchell with a horrible pit stop. He's going to fall all the way back to 7th. So we're going to be right back in about a minute and a half. And we're going to come back and bring you flag, hopefully all commercial-free coverage all the way to the end of this one. We'll be right back.
You asked for more, so we built more. Every overlay done. Cleaner, faster, built for racers, and built for streamers. But that was just the warm-up. Introducing the AI Chief Streamer Engine, a full broadcast-style control tower, built right into Chief. One unified chat window, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. Every message all in one place. Someone drops a gift, Chief tells you. Front row Joey dropped a DJ spin. This is a race car, not a charity, but we'll take your money anyway. New follower? Chief tells you. Raid, member, super chat? Chief's already on it. Too busy battling for the lead to read chat? Don't worry, I'll read it for you. Signature Esports says, I know I said something about it on stream, but it would be cool to use Chief to be a pit reporter. This isn't another overlay package. This is your production crew. AI Chief Pro Plus. Coming soon. Back to live action. Lights are out on the iRacing pace car will make that hard left turn down to pit road off turn number 4. Your leader, the 25 of Andrew Popejoy's up 14 spots after starting in 15th. Right there on the outside is Andrew Caldwell. Caldwell fighting for his playoff lives in the 46. And we're going to go back to green flag racing. If we roll off turn number 4 at Popejoy, Caldwell, Dutton, Dufton, and Ping. That's your top 4. And a great jump there from Andrew Popejoy.
Got 2 Andrews up there. 3 wide for second. Caldwell on the bottom. Dufton in the middle. Ping up on the outside. That is for second. Here comes Dustin Ping off of 4. Caldwell does a good job of keeping the car in the middle of the racetrack. Stays off with the 81. And they are dancing around the racetrack. Everybody's swapping around. Ping started this restart in 5th. He is now to the point off of turn number 2 into turn number 3. The 81 has found his way to the lead. Here comes the 46 of Caldwell, trying to reel him back in. We're 4 wide off of 2, off of 4. Mitchell right there. The 47 of Caldwell. I mean, the 47 of Dufton. Gibson also in this battle. And there's the 34 of Richter. Now up to 7th. He was battling for about 10th or 15th not too long ago. Tom Richter now made his way up into the top 6, looking to get into the top 5. This looked like Mitchell's race to win. And he still looks to be the fastest car on the racetrack. He's now made his way to 3rd. Can he reel in Andrew Caldwell for 2nd? Gibson right there with him. Let us know up there in the chat who you think's going to win this one. It's going to come down to the wire. We got 19 to go. There's about 5 or 6 drivers who can win this. Greg Mitchell, definitely the dominant car, but he has got himself back to 2nd. He's still got one more car to get around, and that's the 81 of Dustin Ping, one of your point leaders. Can Mitchell reel him in? We've got 19 laps left to go. The 55 DRSN Racing, number 55 of Greg Mitchell. Gibson right there with him. And you can see our top 6 drivers in blue. That is your playoff contenders. Bowman down there in 10th, also in the playoffs. Richter in 5th right now. He came into this 10th in the playoff standings. It is going to take a miracle, I think, at this point for Richter to get himself into the playoff, but he is now around Gibson. Excuse me, he's around DiMaggio and Caldwell, and Richter's now made his way up to 4th. And as we're looking at that, Mitchell around Ping for the lead. Greg Mitchell will take the lead away from Dustin Ping, and here comes Cody Gibson. Gibson now to the bottom of the 81. So Ping pitted back on lap 104, so he does have 7 lap older tires than Mitchell or Gibson. And you can see the difference right there. He is going to lose the top spot. He falls back to 3rd. Right now it's the 55 of Mitchell. But here comes the number 1 of Cody Gibson. Down the front straight across the line. 16 laps left to go. And Gibson with a good run into the bottom of turn number 1. He looks to be a little quicker into the corner. Can Mitchell pull him off of 2? Gibson now within a car length. Mitchell had pulled away before that last caution flag. Gibson needed a miracle. He got it if he had a chance, and right now the number 1 of Cody Gibson is closing in on the back bumper of the 55 of Mitchell. Side by side a little further back. Richter now to 3rd. Tom Richter's found his way around 3rd. He gets around Ping. No, Ping's going to fight back on the outside. DiMaggio right there with him as well. They're 3 wide. Richter on the bottom. He is able to clear both of them. Richter now to 3rd. He gets around Ping. He gets around DiMaggio. As a matter of fact, DiMaggio gets around Ping as well. Up front, it is about 2 car lengths between the 1st and 2nd. Gibson running a little bit different line into 3. Slides up the racetrack. Let's see if he drives the car down the hill. Let's see if that gets him some momentum off of 4. Across the line one more time. 14 to go. Gibson takes a peek to the outside. Is he trying to find a little bit different groove up there? Can he get a run off of 2? Let's see. If you can get that outside line working, it gives you a lot of momentum off the corner. Let's see if Gibson can close in. Let's take a look at our... And you can see the gap closing a little bit down, about 0.2 of a second, but Gibson has to get out of the throttle a little sooner, get into 3. And that lets Mitchell get a little more separation now. All right, it's come down to Greg Mitchell and Cody Gibson. That is our battle for the lead. We started with 31. We're down to these 2. I mean, I'm not really counting out Richter, but he is back here. Let's take a look at the last 5 laps and see if Tom Richter... Last lap, he was 1/10 of a second faster than Cody. Previous laps, he was a little slower, so let's... And he was in some traffic, so let's keep an eye on that here over the closing laps. But Tom Richter now to 3rd. DiMaggio to 4th. Ping now to 5th. This would give Cody Gibson the point lead leaving here today. If we stay the way they are right now, I would assume Pink did pick up 9 stage points on stage number 1. I can't remember how many points Cody picked up. Mid-pack battle right here. Gainsworth in the 15, down on the bottom of the racetrack. Outside him is Andrew Caldwell. Caldwell has fallen back all the way back to 13th. Now he was up towards the front. Caldwell's hope of being in the final 6, and he is into the wall right there into 3. Can't get off of it. I think he's able to finally get down off the wall. Let's see if he took any damage there on the 46. Doesn't look like it. He might have to use some safe flight help there before this is over with. But Caldwell down to 13th. He was running up in the top 5, and he is chasing a car way up the hill. He pitted back on lap 101, so tires aren't that old, but it looks like that right front really going away on the 46 as he is chasing a car up the racetrack through about every corner. Across the line this time, it'll be 10 to go for Greg Mitchell. Brad Holmes in the 00 down on the bottom of the racetrack trying to find a way around Wilkins. This is for 6th and 7th. Right in front of him, it is Dustin Ping in 81. So Dustin's car looks to have gone away. Dustin's starting to slide back. He is now down to 5th. And he has got pressure from the 00 and the 78 right here, right behind him. And there's Gary Bowman in the 8. Gary's ran a good race all night long. 0.4 of a second separate our leaders. They got a lap car. You see, now no lap cars on the racetrack, but Cody Gibson out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, up to 2nd. Right behind him, it's Tom Richter. You're Allentown, Pennsylvania. I'm sure the joke's been made many times about the Billy Joel song, so I'll just mention it and move on with my life. But Greg Mitchell out in front. 0.7 of a second, almost 8. Finest battle here on the racetrack over the last few laps. Andy Cork in the 41 looking to find his way around Caldwell. Caldwell just falling back. We saw him get into the outside wall there a couple times. I'm pretty sure he's got some right front damage on that car as he has fallen all the way back to 14th now. He's going to get back around Andy Cork there for 13th, but Caldwell falling back through the field. Here comes Holmes. Brad Holmes in 7th, trying to find a way around Dakota Wilkins for 6th. Here comes Bowman right there with him. Bowman's going to take a look to the inside of Holmes. He has a run into 3. Gary Bowman right there. And there's the 17 of Nicholas Popejoy. And Eric Anderson in the 43. Where did Eric come from? Pitted back on lap 111. The 43 started in 9th. He's finally back up to 9th after falling up and down throughout the field. Getting involved in an incident earlier with Dustin Ping. Eric Anderson coming back to the front. He's up to 9th. 7 laps left to go for our leaders. Gibson now has got a second out. He's got to make up a little bit more than a second to Mitchell. It's about 0.3 of a second behind him to Richter. Richter with a good run here. Tom Richter looking to pick up a top 2 spot. He started in 4th. Finally got himself back up into the podium spots after being up and down throughout the field. Nathan Dufton battling out back here with Campbell. This is for 17th and 18th. Right there behind him, that is Meyer. Actually, that's the lap car. It's a 74 of Kinder. Andy Cork right here up to 13th. Caldwell on his outside. This has been battle going on for a little while. This is for 13th and 14th. We got 5 laps left to go. Across the line. Mitchell makes his way down to 1 and 2. He just got 5 more laps to pick up win number 7 on the season. Can Greg Mitchell hang on? It is now a 2.5 seconds back to Cody Gibson, but here comes Tom Richter. Richter now reeling in the 1. Tom Richter in the 34. He has caught Cody Gibson, and you can see Gibson chasing the car up the racetrack a little bit. Richter able to hang on down on the bottom. Cross the stripe, 4 to go. Can Richter get by Gibson for 2nd? I don't know if this will be enough to put Richter into the top 6 for the points championship, but it would be a good run here for Tom Richter right now in 3rd. Started in 4th. He is trying to get around the number 1 of Cody Gibson for 2nd. The 55 of Greg Mitchell will come across the line, be 3 fingers in the air, 3 laps left to go. When we cross the stripe, it has been all Greg Mitchell. Miami has been his home tonight. A little action going on back here in the mid-pack. See Holmes, and it looks like the 15 a gain fourth. We're going to keep on this battle for second. Look at Richter down on the bottom. Does he have a run off of turn number 2? Can he get around Gibson? Gibson's giving him the inside line. He sees him down there. Richter gets able to dive down into turn number 3. He has got a good run right there. Can he clear Gibson off of 4? He is going to do it in the center of the corner. Richter moved himself up to second as we cross the line with 2 to go. Richter looks to be one of the fastest cars on the racetrack over the last few laps. He's now to second. DiMaggio now taking a look underneath Gibson for 3rd. 2 to go. Lap and a half left to go for Greg Mitchell. We're keeping an eye on this battle for 3rd and 4th right now. It's Gibson in 3rd. DiMaggio down on the bottom of the racetrack. And he is going to take that 3rd spot away from Gibson. Gibson just... I think he used his stuff up right here. He is not able to hang on as he now goes from 2nd back to 4th in about the matter of a lap. But across the line, white flag in the air for Greg Mitchell. 1 lap left to go. We're keeping an eye on the 55. I think this battle back here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th may have sorted itself out. DiMaggio to 3rd. Gibson falls back to 4th. So let's keep an eye on the 55 of Greg Mitchell as he makes his way through 3 and 4 for the last time. He'll come off at turn number 4. Checkered flag will be in the air. Win number 7 on the season for Greg Mitchell here at Miami Homestead. Dominating for performance here from the 55. He comes home with a win. 2nd place is going to be Tom Richter. 3rd, Frank DiMaggio. Cody Gibson in 4th. Dustin Ping in 5th. Bowman worked his way back into the top 5. He'll come home in 5th. Dakota Wilkins in 6th. Eric Anderson. Nicholas Popejoy will make a good run up to 9th. Gainsworth will round out our top 10. All right, so let's see what we got here in the chat. Our winner right now, Greg Mitchell. DiMaggio right there with him. Let Greg get here up on the front straightaway, celebrate his latest victory here at Miami. 134 laps of action. He won both stages, sat on the pole, led the most laps. A perfect points night for Greg Mitchell, and that just may move him up into a points battle as Gibson fell back to 4th, Ping to 5th. We're going to see how that shakes out. Let's see here. So we've got a comment here from Richter congratulating. Let's see here. All right. Mitchell with the win. Tom Richter in 2nd. There's our top 3 on the racetrack. Go back and take a look at that final lap, but see if anybody's in the waiting room here. I see Richter and DiMaggio. I do not see our winner, Greg Mitchell, in the waiting room yet, so we're going to take a quick look here. We'll go back and look at the last final lap. That battle for 2nd and 3rd. Just a dominating performance here tonight from the 55. All right, let's get Greg up here in the boots with us. Greg, you got Chris, are you there? All right, hang on just a second. I can hear you, but nobody else can. All right, let's try that one more time.
Can you hear me now?
There we are. I heard you the whole time, but everybody else got to hear you. We got people out there in YouTube chat want to hear you. So, fantastic drive tonight, man. I mean, this was your race. I'm assuming you've ran a lot of laps around Miami. You sat on the pole, led just about every single lap, won both stages. Kind of, tell us a little bit how it looked from the seat of the 55 out there.
It was good once we got out of traffic and a couple of those runs, but no, felt good. I ran into some trouble in the playoffs this season, so I've been on the brink of elimination. So I put in a few extra laps and tried to just figure out the fast way around here. But it was good. It was kind of a strategy and roll of the dice tonight. I mean, like we pit normally. I don't like to pit during the stages, and I like to save the set of tires, but if we ran 10 laps, then it really there's a big difference. There was a good second fall off by then, or half second or so. And so it was kind of luck of the draw if the cautions came out, and luckily it didn't come out in that second stage and kind of set us up for the third stage. And then it was a crapshoot there after, pitting with 15 to go or something like that. And we had just pitted 10 laps before, whatever that was, close to that. And there were some other guys that were saving a set just in case the caution came out. So that was a big roll of the dice there too. But it just worked. It worked out nicely for us.
Well, fantastic. I mean, nobody really gave you much of a challenge. We had a couple guys get up here and lead, but it was really only during pit stops. But, Cody gave you a little bit of shot there at the end. It looked like he had a little bit for you after that last pit stop. He was within a couple car lengths for a little while, but it just looked like you were able to save your stuff a little bit longer, and Cody just kind of faded back there at that point.
Yeah, I think the dirty air really hurt because I was even in practice. I was behind, I think, the 20 for a while, and after about 10 laps, you just kind of fall off. So I think the scrub here is really bad when you're behind somebody. So I knew if I could just stay in front of Cody. I mean, we were racing really hard when we went green through traffic there, and I think we knew we were the leader on the fresh tires there. So whoever came out of that group first was probably going to win it. So it was kind of fun racing him. I knew he'd be going hard, but he's always a good challenge. I love racing Cody. He's really clean, and I enjoy racing him a lot.
Well, congratulations on your 7th win of the season. Next week we come back for Richmond. I'm sure. I'm guessing you got a lot of laps around Richmond. How you feeling about that next week on that 3/4 mile?
I like Richmond. It's one of my favorite short tracks. So hopefully we can run well. I mean, you never know who else is faster and all that stuff, but I'm always excited to run short tracks in general, and but Richmond is one of those ones that's a couple groove racetrack, at least in 1 and 2, and it's hard to pass, but it's really fun. I'm looking forward to that one, and just glad we made the final.
Well, way to put on a clinic out there tonight. Congratulations on the win. I know you got some people you want to thank before we get you out of here.
Yeah, well, thanks to you, Chris, for running the show. I'm looking forward to going back and watching that, and it's cool to have you on board for the rest of this season and next season. So thanks for joining us, and thank you to Lee Campbell for sponsoring tonight. And let's see, thank you to AI Chief for sponsoring the series this season, and shout out to my family who's watching.
Well, appreciate you having us here. Really looking forward to next season. We got one more to go next week, and then a little break, and then we're back for the following season. So good luck with whatever else you got going on for the rest of the week and the weekend, and we'll see you next Tuesday night.
All right, thanks, Chris.
You bet. Have a good one. All right, let's get second place up here. Tom Ricker, you got Chris in the booth. Are you there?
I got you, Chris. Good evening. How you doing, man?
Excellent, brother. Fantastic drive here tonight. If I take a look at your, let's see if I can get this up here. So I have this nice little graphic that shows me kind of a timeline, man. And you're just up. You look like somebody's heartbeat. You started up towards the front, fell down to the back. You were down as low as about 23rd at one point, and just steadily crawled your way back to the front. Did you save some another set of tires there at the end? I mean, because it looked like you just had a little better stuff at the end than the guys around you.
Yeah, the good part about coming in 22 points below the cut line is that you can kind of just run your own race, right? That's not just going to happen by magic. You're going to need a good finish. You're going to need a good run. So I saved some tires when other people got aggressive with their strategies, and we still had a set sitting down there in the pit. So silently internally, I was hoping for yellow with about 10 laps to go, because I think the 55 and maybe the 24. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask Frank. I'm pretty sure both of those guys are out of tires, but we still had one sitting down there. But we were just running our own race tonight because we put ourselves in a hole after Pocono last week, and we'll see how the points shake out here in a little bit.
Yeah, it should be pretty close if I'm looking at them. So I had a question. So Thompson I did not see Thompson here tonight. So do you guys have like a waiver race that gives them like last place points or something?
We do not.
Okay.
the drivers can post a provisional, which gives them last place points, but a provisional was not posted. So that's also another wild card in the mix of the points tonight.
So it looks like to me, if I'm math this now, Caldwell fell way back there towards the end of this race, fell back to 13th. Man, you might be close. It's going to be close for that 6th spot. I think Greg just pretty much took every point home he could tonight. So my math in my head, it's going to be pretty tight with Cody, Dustin, and Greg there for the top spot with Frank as well. So going to be an exciting race coming into Richmond next week.
It really is. I mean, we've never raced Richmond as our championship race, and we're doing things a little bit different. It's going to be a final 6 instead of a final 4. So it's going to be a little bit of a slobber knocker next week at Richmond, but it's going to be a good one to watch. These guys have put on a really great season. I was telling them in the drivers meeting earlier tonight that we've averaged 35 drivers throughout the course of the season, 22 of our 23 races, and couldn't ask for a better group to do this with every single Tuesday night, Chris.
Well, you know what? I mean, I'm really happy to be on board. I really appreciate you reaching out to us. We've covered quite a few league races, and we've covered. I'm not going to disparage anybody out there, but man, this is one of the cleanest races we've been a part of. A couple incidences here and there, maybe just a couple mistakes, but didn't see anything really, from our point of view anyway, didn't see anything really crazy like you tend to see in some other races. So just a fantastic race, man. Just a great race.
It really was. These guys, it's probably the most competitive our field has ever been, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to race in, and sometimes you wind up on the right end of sometimes you get heads on the coin flip, sometimes you get tails. But tonight we're on the upside.
Well, but before we get you out of here, so we got Richmond next week. We'll be back for that one on Tuesday night, and then we got the following season coming up in about 2 to 3 weeks after that. But man, before we get you out of here, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, thank you to you for coming on, maybe a little bit earlier than expected. You and I, we've been working together for the past couple of weeks trying to make sure that everything looked and sounded good. So I'm excited to go back and take a look at what you're able to give us here. We're happy to have you here at Cyber. All the drivers, my admins here that help me out. This is a little bit of a special one. I lost my mom about a month ago, and this is the first podium that I've been able to get. So we had her in the car with us tonight. She always used to watch these races, and now it feels a little bit different, but I appreciate you guys.
Well, I know where you're at there, brother, and I'm really sorry for your loss. And then again, thank you so much for having us here. It's been, it's going to be fun. We're really looking forward to it. So, hopefully see you next week. I'm sure we're going to get a chance to talk to you before the week's out, but Richmond should be fun. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you, Chris. And before I forget, apologies. Thank you to Corey for AI Chief sponsoring the overall season, and Lee for picking up the actual race tonight. So those as well, but I'll get out of your hair. Thank you, Chris.
No worries, man. Have a good rest of the night, and we'll talk to you again.
See you, man.
All right, let's get our third place finisher up in here. Frank DiMaggio. Frank, are you there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, fantastic job. You were kind of up and down throughout the field. As I was talking to Tom a minute ago, we've got this nice little graph that kind of shows your progress throughout the race. Man, you were back in 25th at one point. Kind of tell us how you were able to get the 24 back up into the podium spot.
Well, we had that lap 1, turn 1 accident, and I got a minute damage from that. So I didn't pit there, and next caution we got, I decided to go see how bad it was. I had a minute worth of damage and ended up getting it fixed. But after that, I think there was a yellow and there's a strategy thing, and we need stage points. Stage points are what gets you further in this playoff format, and that's what we tried to do, and we were able to slowly but surely come up through the field.
Well, by my rough math here, I'm assuming you should be about 3rd or 4th going into the last race. Definitely locked down yourself a spot in the top 6. Richmond next week, a little 3/4 mile, challenging little racetrack. How do you feel about that next week?
We'll do our best. I don't know what we can do. I think we might need some help. We might need a little bit of luck with other guys having bad luck or running into trouble. But we'll just run our race, and whatever happens, happens.
Well, congratulations on a great run tonight, brother. I mean, it was fun to watch. You put on a show up there, got yourself up into the podium. But we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves out of here for the night. So before we do, anybody you want to give a thanks to?
Yeah, I want to say thanks to AI Chief for sponsoring the season, Lee Campbell for sponsoring the race. It's pretty cool. My teammates Ed and Gary, the admins for putting the race on. A lot of work and a lot of organizing, and not cheap either. And I also want to say thanks to yourself, Chris, and first race with us, and can't wait to go back and watch it.
Well, appreciate it. And as I told everybody else, I'm really thankful you guys reached out, and we're here. DRSN is here with you guys, so looking forward to a long relationship. But man, you have a great rest of the night, a great week, and I'm sure we're going to talk to you next Tuesday.
All right, thank you.
All right, brother. All right, that is our top 3 drivers here for tonight. Let's take a look here at the full results here for our race here at Miami. We got one more race left to go in the championship. Winner of the race led 113 out of the 134 laps. It was Greg Mitchell coming on with the win. Tom Richter to second. Frank DiMaggio in third. Cody Gibson fourth. Dustin Ping fifth. Gary Bowman in sixth. Dakota Wilkins will come home in seventh. After starting back in 17th, I had to go pick that up. So Eric Anderson in 8th. Nicholas Popejoy started back in 30th. Going to be our hard charger, up 21 spots up to 9th. David Gainforth in 10th. Brad Holmes with a good run to come home in 11th. Carter Lawson 12th. Andrew Caldwell was up towards the front, faded late. Going to finish this race in 13th. Andy Cook in 14th. Amanda Sherman in the 15th spot. Andrew Popejoy in 16th. Nathan Duff in 17th. Lee Campbell 18th. Greg Meyer and Jackie Brandon will round out our top 20. We get back to the next page here. 21st, James Kinder. Matthew Semple will come home in the 22nd spot. Stephen Mussick, 23rd. Logan Spencer, 24th. Justin Basin in the 25th spot. Larry Bell, Mike Stifferson, Philip Van Fleet, Ed Jurgen, and Corey Sherman will round out our 30-car field. And then Chris Rose was able to get one lap in, started in 12th, got involved in an early caution. He's going to come home in 31st. Tanner Marr did not grid up. As we said, most laps led of the race was Greg Mitchell. Nicholas Popejoy, the hard charger, up 21 spots, fastest lap. I mean, everything was Greg Mitchell tonight. Won all the stages, sat on the pole. The only thing he didn't do was have the hard charger, so it's kind of hard to do when you start on the front row. So that is going to wrap it up here for our first night of coverage here for the Rush Champions Series here with Cyber Thunder Racing. Don't forget, we got more action coming your way. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, do it now because you don't want to miss anything tomorrow night. Smoke and Thunder Arcus Series with Sagar Baskey bringing you the coverage of that one. I'll be back here at 10:45 Eastern tomorrow night with the SCCA Mazda MX-5 Series. And then Friday night, we're back for the Half Decent Racing League Xfinity Series at Iowa. So lots of action coming your way this week. Don't miss out on any of it. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves out of here for the night. So from all of us here at DRSN, thanks for choosing to spend your evening with us. I'm Chris Murphy saying keep it smooth, keep it smart, and if you can't do that, at least keep it entertaining for the folks at home. We're going to see you next time. Good night.